Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel, and with me today I have Chirag and Sidhant as they're going to talk about that night and before that what led to the partition of India and Pakistan. Join me as I welcome all of them only on Zoom.
Thank you.
Hi,
First
Samina.
of all, lovely to have all of them, which means the two of you on Zoom.
No, you have all of them.
And I also have all of them.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
freedom at midnight, and a lot has been spoken about. And honestly, we were not, been there during that phase, when it happened. But we have heard a lot of stories, about our freedom fighters and how things have had taken place. I would like to know from both of you playing such important pivotal roles, how it has been for you all.
Oh, it was enlightening. Initially what I figured was my knowledge of history was so limited. In spite of knowing the chain of events, what happened, which we all know. Once I studied it and once I spent time with it, because when you get into the character, you do an in-depth study to eventually somehow become the character. And specifically when I read the script is when I realized that all the opinions that I had were not mine. It was someone else's that I had just heard over time growing up, and out of convenience and just my lack of inclination towards in-depth research and studying history of our own country. Like I said, we've all known history, but we don't. I never read all those books and all those chapters which gave me so much clarity, and it was just cathartic to just know. Leaving aside playing these great, honorable human beings and being a part of this most important chapter of our entire history, and the most important giants, our heroes, these guys, and it's while it was an honor, it was also it also gave me my own opinion about each of them, what I personally feel. And it no more belongs to someone else. And what I heard growing up, like I said, and I adapted that, and I believed that. I think that will change once people. I think that perhaps that's why stories are made, because not everyone reads books and facts. So that's a great thing. Apart from that, I'd love to know from people what they feel about us playing these characters. They have to feel. Also, I truly feel that when we were working on it, I'm not getting into the process of finding as an actor right now, because it's a different, it's unexplainable for me. But when we met on set, him as Bapu, and that's what I called him throughout the set, throughout the times that we were shooting for this. When I met him as Jawaharlal Nehru, and when I met Bapu, we used to just look into each other's eyes, and we just felt that energy, what these two shared. It was a very father-son, mentor relationship Jawaharlal Nehru shared with Mahatma Gandhi, and their entire history. So there are also scenes which you'll see going to the younger days and the older, cutting to the older, and glimpses of where they're coming from and how it built to that, and how he was chosen as the Prime Minister, how it really goes beyond just the title of Prime Minister. It's more about just putting someone on forefront who sort of is a great orator, has a great mind, can do what only he can, sort of, and at the same time being all together with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and all of them. They all made their decision together, stood their own grounds, but all was beautiful to actually really feel the relationship. That was very pure, and that spoke of their entire history, and they held on to this love for this land, love for this country. It's easier said, and okay, desh bhakti ke gaane sunte hain hum, mitti, desh ki mitti, and all of that. We hear that, and we want to feel that. These guys, they lived it every single minute of the day. They held on to that emotion, and they really held that mud, that mitti of this land. So just these are big emotions, and you feel that through playing these characters, and it's just wow, I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, you have played the role of Gandhi, in your theatres, in your plays and all basically.
Yeah.
And then, doing this one, especially, when Gandhi comes and says that, no, it is not Sardar Vallabhbhai, but it's going to be Nehru who's going to take the charge of, of the country. And then it leads to the, the versus kind of situation between Nehru and Sardar. Then it also leads to between Nehru and Jinnah and how it goes forward, If you had to recollect, how it was for you, because it's also like, just imagining basically that, this is how they must have conducted such meetings, this is how they must have taken decisions. How was it for you?
See, history में जो हो चुका है वो हो चुका है. It can be undone.
Of course, it
right?
cannot be.
So, and the best part is the show has been written beautifully. 4 साल की मेहनत की गई है निखिल सर और पूरी राइटिंग टीम ने. हमारे पास बाउंड स्क्रिप्ट थी, तो एज एन एक्टर तो हमें रिप्रेजेंट करना था, उस मोमेंट को फील करना था. हमारी अपनी एज एन एक्टर जो तैयारियां हैं वो अपनी जगह है, निखिल सर की तैयारियां जो है वो है. और उस बाद में जब जैसा कि सिद्धांत ने कहा, देन इट इज़ फीलिंग दैट मोमेंट इन दैट सिचुएशन जो लिखा गया है सीन, उस मोमेंट को फील करना है, यानी एंड उस एनर्जी को फील करना है, एक दूसरे के साथ गिव एंड टेक करना है, एंड देन द मैजिक हैपेंस. सो एंड दैट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग द परफॉर्मेंस. And I'm sure that people will feel that energy when they will see it on 15th of November.
And don't you also feel that, maybe probably we all of us, in our bloods have something from our freedom fighters, because even now, on social media, probably some of them are like just lost the plot completely because they're just debating for no reason. But most of them are also, giving their opinions wherein it does matter when it comes to taking decisions of politics, what is happening in the political state right now. Be it, right wing or left wing, it doesn't matter. It's more so, being concerned about humanity. Do you feel kind of we have taken some ferocious decisions also because we look back at our forefathers in a way?
They're all human at the end of the day, but what I know from facts and really reading through the entire histories and mysteries, I would say, they really tried to do the right thing. Because we have to understand, when these men, they came in with a very pure intention of the freedom for this land. They didn't come to be the politicians. The next step when the Britishers would leave would obviously be for someone to run the nation, because you don't know what to do with this country after you free them. So that's when thinking of those lines, foreseeing everything in that journey of struggle and the freedom movement, I believe Congress was built.
Yes.
And who else, if not these men who are sticking to the roots to actually give India a wise, thoughtful direction, a futuristic direction. And so I feel that the blend of these three, Mahatma Gandhi, obviously, whose principles were followed by Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, but the blend of these three I feel there was this sense of accumulated power between these three, that only these three men could sort of course they had their entire clan of people working with them, but they had it in them to sort of reach this point of freedom. It's if what I can't even find the word for this, but anyways, what surprises me is if someone talks to us in a weird tone, or someone raises a hand or whatever, we get evoked,
Of course.
and it turns into violence. The amount of atrocities that these men have been through, and still holding on to that non-violence, that is superhero trait.
That's true.
And they said, we will not raise our hands, we will stand like that, and but we'll make sure that we'll bring freedom to this country. And they really did it. That's the most amazing thing about them, man in a dhoti and holding a lakdi and just that, and one man with his rose, and there's that khadi, and one with the gamcha, all three of them just like walking together and just leading this country to freedom. It's just beyond respect. This is worship worthy, these people, these men.
But I have to ask both of you, how many times have you all dreamt about the idols you have played? Like, have you all seen them in your dreams, while playing this, characters basically? Like, if you saw Gandhi ji in your dreams, or if you saw Nehru ji in your dreams, something like that. If
I was seeing
ever
my
happened.
daydreams.
Yeah, you never know.
We were living our dreams.
Yeah, really. But it could happen, you never know basically, because, getting into characters like these especially, it could also be a lot. How were you behaving, otherwise in your environment when you were portraying these characters? Did things change for y'all?
How do you explain these things?
See, in between the takes, you try and यानी आप उस मोमेंट में रहना चाहते हैं, आप उस सीन में रहना चाहते हैं. एट द सेम टाइम ऐसा भी होता है कि कुछ एक मोमेंट पर आप ये भी समझते हैं कि यार मैं परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ. यानी ये हर एक एक्टर की अपनी अपनी प्रोसेस है. एट टाइम्स, एट मैनी टाइम्स ये ऐसा होता है कि मैं इस सीन में, इस पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट में मैं और कोई डेविएशन नहीं चाहता, मैं और कोई डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं चाहता. इस मोमेंट में मैं इस वक्त मुझे और कोई डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं चाहिए. आई ट्राई टू फोकस इन दैट पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट और उस सिचुएशन में. यानी I want to be in that zone.
Yeah.
And many a times मैं चाहता हूँ कि यार मैं एक राउंड मार के आता हूँ थोड़ा.
What about you?
Oh,
Did you all cut off on anything, for that matter, especially when you were in these, characters? Like when I say that, probably letting go of, parties, letting go of some, gatherings and all as such.
Yeah, my social life was gone like completely. In fact, my social media was gone. I had to, because I had no time and I had to just get into it, and it was a huge responsibility. So I just started walking in his shoes, and that's the only thing I actually just remember. And now it's all done, and we're like sitting here talking big things about big people and big emotions that we played. And so it's surreal, but at the same time, it's just, it's a consistent dialogue. It's a new voice inside of you, and that you find that resonates, and that you believe enough to sort of be able to resonate amongst others when you're doing it. And that's when you feel the reality of another person in you, inside of you, and you hold on to that. So even when you step away from it, you only go, you can't really go too far, because it's like, where will you go? Where will you, it's like, it's also, thankfully, these characters that we both were playing, I think, it's like, you don't want to go too far from them, because it's like, it's just the best thing that has happened, and your thinking is changing, and the way you look at the world is changing, and all of that changes when you sort of, when you're in the character. So, yeah, mysterious process, this acting,
Like
It's a
recently,
nice thing.
Yeah, and that is what we love about it.
Yeah.
like recently,
What
even when
else?
I spoke to Vikrant, he said, like, many a times when an actor is portraying a character, people assume that, that character is what the actor is, which also leads to a lot of, kind of sometimes hatred, sometimes confusion, sometimes expectations that,
Sure.
oh, my idol played this role or my actor played this role. Now, how can he be like this, otherwise? Like, for example, if Ranbir Kapoor is playing the role of Ram, the expectation is for him to be in a certain manner only. If he goes in his normal life,
Right.
people really take offense. Were you both also kind of skeptical because, because you're portraying such characters,
Right.
you would be, of course, like, and that happens on social media or otherwise also, people start like speculating why they're behaving in a certain manner. The expectations are something else altogether.
I mean, I think when you, now Ram is a mythological figure and Lord that we worship, but we don't know how he behaved, but we know how these men behave. We have videos and stuff like that, so you have to get to these as close as you can to these people, and that's the responsibility. And I think that is the work of an actor. That's why you do this, so you can step away from yourself and just become someone else. And I don't know, as far as my journey is concerned, I think I'd love to just like change from one person to another with every character.
What about you?
Yeah, it is the most satisfying thing that you get into. यानी आप किसी और किरदार के जितने करीब जाना कोशिश करते हैं, जितना करीब जाएं या उस कैरेक्टर को अपने आप में जितना अंदर उतार पाएं, तो ये प्रोसेस ही है जो एक एक्टर को जिंदा रखती है और वही हमें मज़ा आता है.
But to both of you, I have to ask, like, as you all said, like, of course, a process में, but कितनी बार ऐसे हुआ है कि characters आपके साथ में रह गए and it took a lot of time to even get over it?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि मैं गांधी का किरदार कर रहा हूँ तो अब मैं गांधी की तरह सोच रहा हूँ या मैं गांधी को अपने अंदर महसूस कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है.
Yeah, no, but basically coming back to your normal things, basically कई बार ऐसे हो जाता है कि हम उस character में इतना involved हो जाते हैं that you really like are in a certain zone.
नहीं, मैं ये ज़रूर मानता हूँ कि आप उससे इंस्पायर होते हैं. उस कैरेक्टर की जर्नी जो आपने पोर्ट्रे करी है, उसमें से कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें आपके साथ जुड़ जाती हैं, आपके साथ रह जाती हैं. पर उस जोन में रहना, मैं यानी उस मेंटल फ्रेम में रहना, मैं समझता हूँ कि मेरी प्रोसेस वैसे नहीं है कि मैं उस प्रोसेस में यानी मेंटल प्रोसेस या उस मेंटालिटी में चला जाता हूँ. पर हाँ, कुछ अच्छी चीज़ें जो है वो अपने अंदर किसी भी यानी नॉट जस्ट पोर्ट्रेइंग कैरेक्टर, ये तो यानी आप में से यानी कहीं से जहाँ से भी मुझे अच्छी क्वालिटी या अच्छी चीज़ लगती है तो वो तो मैं इम्बाइब कर ही लेते हैं.
True. What about you?
We as human beings, to be honest, growing up, हमें जो कुछ qualities अच्छी लगती हैं एक दूसरे की, हम वो कब पिकअप कर लेते हैं और inhabit कर लेते हैं और वो बन जाते हैं, हमें भी नहीं पता चलता. So that happens, and when you play a character, and that character will always end up giving you something that you cannot let go of because it's the right thing, and it's always a perspective. For your sort of, it's that perspective is what makes you slightly open-minded and broad-minded, and your acceptance towards everything becomes more and it changes. So I mean those are little mental emotional stuff that keeps happening inside. But I mean that happens, and that's very human, and that's actually a gift of this work. To every artist to sort of take away something beautiful from each character that we play.
Yeah, we are blessed in a way.
Oh yes.
Coming back to this also, Freedom at Night, Kashmir is one of the integral part, basically Freedom at Midnight basically. Kashmir is an integral part of discussion when the partition also happened. Till date, the atrocities also continue. A lot of we have to be very alert, when it comes to Kashmir. Even our politicians are ensuring nothing is happening over there. Do you feel that because of this, the partition, people have suffered, that side a lot more, and that could be kind of control or something could be done for them?
So that's the thing. Like I said, this story is going to give a lot of people a lot of facts about what really happened. Why someone chose to behave, why someone made those choices. Our work as these characters was to actually study the characters in depth, to be able to justify the emotional and the logical part of why a choice was being made. Because he is that person who thinks like that, and so he made that choice. And rest will be left for people to have their own solid individual opinion, which is not just floating in the air. So I think it'll be better. I am excited to actually watch how people's reaction would sort of shift when they see the story unfold. So I'm going to let this question be in the air, and let's both see that
Are you both
unfold.
also willingly to looking forward to the criticism you may face because of the characters you're portraying? Because we have seen freedom fighters movies being made in the past as well, and sometimes if people don't really relate or correlate with it, such things happen on social media. How open are you to taking opinions like that?
I mean, end of the day, yeah, I think he'll be able to answer this better, but I'm pretty sure our answer will sort of merge.
Yes, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So बात ये है कि जो
सेम ही होगा आंसर, मैं लिख के देता हूँ।
फ्रीडम एट मिडनाइट जिस पुस्तक ऊपर आधारित है हमारा शो, जो दिखाती है कि किस सिचुएशन से गुजर कर हमें आज़ादी मिली है, पार्टीशन किस परिस्थितियों में पार्टीशन हुआ, हमारी डेमोक्रेसी हमें मिली, हमें फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन मिला, हमें अपना ओपिनियन सबके सामने कहने की ये जो हमें फ्रीडम मिली है, तो ये इसके पीछे बहुत लोगों का बलिदान है और इसकी वैल्यू हम करें। शायद 77 साल आज़ादी के 77 साल के बाद शायद हम अपनी उस फ्रीडम को टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड ले रहे हैं। हम अपना ओपिनियन जो है, जो हमें फ्रीडम मिला है, उससे हम समझते हैं कि हो गया ना,
अब शेयर करो।
हाँ, अब शेयर करते हैं, ट्रोल करते हैं, किसी को डिमीन करते हैं, ये बहुत आसान है। किनारे पर बैठकर मझधार से नैया निकालने में अपनी कमेंट करना, ये इसने किया तो ठीक किया, नहीं किया तो ये नहीं किया तो क्यों नहीं किया, ये सब कहना बहुत आसान है, पर उस स्ट्रगल में होना और उसका हिस्सा बनना, ये बहुत ही अलग करेज चाहिए होता है। तो वी आर ओपन, ऑफ कोर्स, वी आर इन दिस डेमोक्रेटिक वर्ल्ड, डेमोक्रेसी है हमारी। हमने अपना काम बहुत ही सच्चे दिल से किया है। वी आर सेटिस्फाइड इन दैट वे।
And to both of you, I have to ask this, that before I let you go, if you had to suggest, or like probably not suggest, even like, one wish you both have from the current political system which should be brought in our country, which could of course revive the current timings basically.
Oh boy.
What would it be and why?
Whatever, there's been a great history that we have, which is brutal, to be honest, and it's also so deeply ingrained, and we've all carried some sort of anger and all of those emotions towards some who once were our own, anyway, so what I see it differently in the sense it's like I look forward to an India-Pakistan match, cricket match, to be honest. I think everyone does. I would like to actually, it's my dream to see a kabaddi match of India and Pakistan, because sports is where they meet. I would actually like to see them play a kabaddi match. I would like to see how a player of their team comes here and our team is like not letting him go. That would be interesting. Yeah, I want to see who wins.
What about you, Chirag?
यार ये सब पॉलिटिकल जो चीज़ें हैं वो अपनी जगह पर है।
Yeah, that will keep happening, यार. I mean, this is my far-fetched dream.
मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं बहुत खुश हूँ इस अपने जोन में जहाँ पर मुझे उस मोमेंट का हिस्सा बनने का एज एन एक्टर मौका दिया जाता है, जहाँ पर मैं महात्मा गांधी जिसे कहते हैं, जिसके नाम के आगे हम महात्मा लगाते हैं, जिसे हम फादर ऑफ द नेशन के नाम कहते हैं, तो यार मैं इस वक्त आई एम इन माई दैट सिचुएशन जहाँ पर मैं पॉलिटिकल सिनारियो से बहुत दूर रहना चाहता हूँ।
ये अलग टाइप का सिचुएशनशिप चल रहा है। I must say that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's no point. I mean, in this sense, what's happening is happening. What will keep happening will keep happening. You can only do the right thing, portray right emotions, make some stories like these, and just hope for some sort of, not even change, just some sort of truth and honesty through this kind of work. That's all you can do. People will have opinion. People must have opinions. A human being is incomplete without opinions. So they're going to have it, and there will always be disagreement. They can never. It's impossible for everyone to agree on one thing. So it's just that one must have an individual opinion that should be their own, and stuff like that is enlightening.
And they were also
they
not
help.
of the same opinion all the time.
Obviously.
They were having their own agreements and
Yeah.
disagreements.
True.
So
Yeah, yeah.
But I have to ask both of you, and this is one question which, before I let both of you go, that do you also feel that basically art should not be kind of discriminated, because of late even Pakistani actors have started working again, for Indian movies. Do you feel that, or it's okay to keep it separate only like, how different countries are doing,
Well, I feel this is creation that we're talking about. Art is creation. Creation is a gift, and you cannot you cannot just. I mean, I don't know if I should comment about these things, but in the sense, I think art is strong enough to find its own roots and languages. A nice song from that side of the country, or a nice song from this side of the country, is always heard by people of either countries. You cannot stop that. That is the power of art. It'll, there will always be ears and eyes which will keep looking for something that is pure. A nice piece of music is pure. A nice story which is which has truth in it, much like this. I truly believe that this has a lot of truth in it. And you cannot stop it even if you tried. There will always be people. Of course, don't you think you've heard Ali Sethi's songs?
Yes, I have.
You would still hear it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course you would hear it. Why deprive yourself of something that pleases your senses just to put a tag, just by putting a tag on it? I mean, this is my thinking, to each his own. So,
But before I let both of you go, what are your upcoming projects after this you're focusing on?
oh boy.
Right now waiting for 15th of November.
Yeah.
And then
I'm a one step at a time kind of person, I think. And we just literally finished shooting for this. I'm dubbing as we are moving along. It's on the release, so I haven't had the time. I'm going to now decide what I'm going to do next.
Well, lovely chatting with both of you. Thank you so
Likewise.
much for your lovely time and all the very best.